And he's an easy guy to communicate with. He will answer the question you ask him, even if it's very, very difficult. He is quick-witted and smart. He handles it very, very well.
And he's really good with liberals because he could handle me.
Right.
Like I changed the subject on him, asking about Mars colonization. He was all about it.
He's got an answer. So let's go back to the Aleppo moment, the very terrible.
Oh my God, I wanted to kill myself when that happened. Because that was like my peak, like libertarian guy. I'm like,
Gary,
now's our time, man.
Gary
The
Johnson.
libertarians, Gary's got it. Here we go. And I'm watching Morning Joe and I'm just like, my heart sank. And I'm like, I can't believe this.
For those that are not familiar, this is Gary Johnson, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
He's doing an interview and he's asked, how would he deal with Aleppo? And he goes, and what is Aleppo? Yeah. Aleppo is a city in Syria that was just flattened.
During the Civil War, like at the height of the time.
And it ruined his campaign.
Absolutely.
They were talking about rocket. They were talking about like the end days. And that was like being spoken about on the news. And he had no clue.
So let's go through this. I told people, like my view is, if Donald Trump was asked a question about insert random topic, if he's sitting down and the interviewer said, I want to get your thoughts on Roberto the Rooster. Trump, having no idea what the hell he's talking about, would go, no, look, I know a lot of people want to talk about Roberto, but we got to focus on jobs in this country. We've got a border that's worth. He would adapt and pivot. Yeah. Vivek, smart enough to do the same thing. Ron would do some facsimile of, I don't see him being quick-witted enough to deal with these difficult situations.
Another thing that's going to happen that you're going to see is that, Vivek Ramaswamy has written books about woke culture, and he's going to... Ron DeSantis is going to find out very quickly that just talking about woke and talking about Disney and talking about COVID and pretending to be against childhood transitions isn't going to be enough to get him through this debate. Ron DeSantis has an issue, as you just said, communicating with people and relating to people, and he doesn't really have that likability factor. You see that he's very awkward in person, and this is because he's on the spectrum. Politico, you could pull up the article if you want, actually wrote an article about how Ron DeSantis might be autistic, and there are lawmakers in the Florida legislature who have talked about how he has Asperger's. I know people who have worked with Ron DeSantis in the past, former staffers who have said that he has Asperger's. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with people who have Asperger's, but obviously one of the issues that comes with, being on the spectrum or having some form of autism is that sometimes you lack social skills, right? That's one of the main characteristics about it. And so Ron DeSantis, right, you'll see him in these situations where people will come up to him and say, there was one that I'll never forget where he was, I believe, in Iowa, and somebody goes, oh, I just drove 8 hours to come see you. And Ron DeSantis goes, oh, great. And he walks away. Like, he didn't even ask the guy, like, if you want a photo or how you doing. So Vivek Ramaswamy has written books about woke, and Ron's not going to be able to get away with just saying, oh, we're gonna combat wokeism. Well, how is Ron going to combat wokeism when one of his top lobbyists is a guy named Slater Bayless, who's a lobbyist for Bud Light? How is he going to combat childhood transitioning when another one of his top lobbyists is a guy named Mark Lampkin, who represents a company called AbbVie, a pharmaceutical company called AbbVie that is the manufacturer of a drug called Lupron, which is a drug used to chemically castrate children. You understand? Like, he needs to be called out for this hypocrisy.
What you're talking about with Vivek about and DeSantis about woke is a great point, because Vivek really understands the philosophy behind that's going on at the left now. I don't know exactly how deep Ron's understanding is. I don't feel like Ron really understands the philosophies behind it, whereas I do feel like Vivek understands. Exactly. He understands. He knows who Mark Hughes is. He knows the leftists that are writing the philosophies and writing the academic papers that are having significant effects on the culture today. He's aware of the actual problems in the philosophy.
A lot of people are going to say, oh, we're talking about Vivek and Ron. It's like, well, yes, these are the guys fighting behind Trump for the next position. So I think it's warranted. I don't care to say if Ron's on the spectrum or whatever. That seems I don't know, whatever.
It's tough to measure.
No, but who cares, right? We can just say it simply.
No, but
Ron is bad with people.